We got a wrestling god in the building. We see you, dogs. We see you, dogs. Put your ones up.
Put your ones
Put
down.
your ones up.
Put them down.
Put the ones up to the goats of the business.
All the way up.
Put them down. Jobber Nation, welcome to another episode of the Jobbertears podcast. As always, I'm Janelle from HR here with Sir Wilkins and Mrblacc. And of course, we do have a very special guest, a friend to the show with us live and in color.
One of the black pillars of black wrestling. One of the black pillars. We look at black pillars, you see us as StatGuyGreg.
All right.
Bald head and all. Ooh! If you ain't bald head in wrestling, you ain't shit!
The check's in the mail, y'all. The check's in the mail.
I'm like, what is this?
Because we here. You get hype.
Okay, it's childish, can't be no homegirl, drop it like the NASDAQ. Move white girls like it's coke up my ass crack. Move black girls, cause man, fuck it, I'll do either. I love pussy, I love bitches, dude, I should be running.
Are you hype?
In Adidas with some short shorts, B-O-O all over me. My green is where it's supposed to be, your green is in my grocery. Asian dude,
we here!
girl, and now he
We here! We back!
Like an
We was here last
one of the pillars of black wrestling. He's bald. He got a go. He got a beard, and he's tall.
Oh yeah.
He's fitting the stereotype, but he's not the stereotype. Look at him, shining.
Oh yeah.
Just like the belt. That's behind him. Because you know we throwing the ones up. We throwing the ones up.
I'm
Just so
outnumbered
you
here.
Oh,
he got the tag.
We gotta keep it official. We gotta keep it official. We gotta keep it official, man.
But yes, as Mrblacc mentioned, we got StatGuyGreg in the building with us for this week's episode of the Jobbertears podcast. How art thou, sir? How are you? What's going on?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for joining, taking some time out. We appreciate you. We appreciate everything you really have put into the business as well, because we're all about giving flowers when we can, and definitely while people are alive and well. So we do definitely appreciate, the path you definitely have paved for, podcasters like us and other media content creators to be a part of just such a dope industry, a dope community. So thank you so much for that.
No need. I feel like that's overstated, but I appreciate the kind words. I'll take exactly 2 flowers and that's it. That's all.
Well,
no,
that's not true. But before we do get started talking about the last premium live event this past weekend, we do want to thank everyone that came out to Legends this weekend for our viewing party.
StatGuyGreg has hosted one.
Has definitely hosted SummerSlam a few years ago. That was a movie. Actually, there was a lot of people that came out that I did not think were gonna come out.
That was the Fiend's debut, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was just a lot going on that year. So no, we definitely, that's why I say he's a friend of the show, because we definitely done.
It was the SummerSlam before the pandemic.
Yeah,
it was 2019. Bro, that was just such like a year.
The last of the best.
Like that was like I feel like every time we were outside, it, like when you think back, it meant something, because now you're like, man. 2020, we didn't do anything after that.
2020 and half of 2021.
Yeah, it was a while. People just like, yo, the pandemic's over. I'm going back outside, man. That's it. I'm done.
Listen, my birthday that year, I just looked at what Zeddy Cuomo said I couldn't go and where I could go, and I went to Colorado for the first time in a pandemic. Just crazy with it. But like I mentioned, thank you once again, everyone that came out this past weekend. You want to check and see what's going on before we get started? It does say it's on there.
I was on my brother's page. Hold
on. Okay, yeah.
You can't. This
No, just say it's fine. Your brother can post it on the thing. So before we do get started, let's talk about as we talked about in pre-production, how was your WrestleMania experience? Like, what were some highs? What were some interesting moments that you experienced since you were out there in LA as well?
Oh man, it was great. The Ring of Wrestling show team was all out there. We did a lot of interview content. We got together for the first time. I think the whole team basically assembled except for Rosenberg and Dip. They couldn't make it out to the recordings, but just about the whole team. We recorded some episodes together, got some good content. We interviewed Bianca, interviewed Braun and Raquel just before Raquel's big win of the weekend. That was fun. There's some great guys. No bad experiences that WrestleMania weekend. Like everybody we interviewed, I think was pretty great. I got to watch Kaz and Shoemaker interview Dom and Rhea right after Rhea won her SmackDown Women's Championship. So I think that might have been her first interview, aside from the press conference, her first interview as new champ. They also had interviews with Bayley. Just a lot of content that we put out there for everybody to enjoy. It's still up there on Spotify, so if everybody's subscribed, which they should be
already,
to the Ring of Wrestling show, all that WrestleMania week content is out there. And it was dope. And of course, and of course the show. I tried
for you. What was better, night 1 and night 2?
I feel like night 2, it's tough because they both had their moments. Like they both had their hits. Some misses, very few misses though, I would say. Like,
what was the one miss you felt like they shouldn't have done, but they did?
I feel like it's not really fair to call it a miss, but unfortunately the Shane McMahon injury was a little bit of a downer. But then Uncle Snoop came in, and
that was like, when you
Snoop
are
saved
like
the day.
Like when you're a kid and it's Christmas morning and that gift you get and that's that gift you want and it requires batteries. Remember that back in the day where your parents forgot batteries and you had to wait to now play with your toy? That's exactly
not even the regular batteries.
No, it had to be like AAA or like the D badge.
And the D badge wasn't cheap.
No, they were expensive. So you had to walk up the Radio Shack. But that's exactly how I felt with Shane. Like,
for me, it was like saying that, you know what? I'm gonna get you the batteries, and it never came.
Or like the package go missing. But no, Shane, that was a surprise in itself.
I agree.
But I felt like night 2, I don't know, for some reason, I think just hit a little different.
What happened night 2?
For me, I mean, you had the Gunther in the match. You had the Edge.
Yeah.
You had the Roman. And Roman
I mean, listen, I tried to tell everybody. I don't understand what the confusion was. I don't understand what where everybody got misunderstood. I tried to tell everybody, listen, Roman Reigns does one thing. He wins, especially now. Greatness on a different level, like the man has been saying for months. I tried to tell everybody, Cody, a great competitor. A great competitor, fantastic story, coming back, trying to win one for his papa. He said it himself. Sometimes the better story is defeated by the better competitor. And he also said that Roman Reigns is the best in the world. So once he knows that, he already knew what was going to happen too. There was no way he was walking out of there.
But so speaking about Cody real quick, in your opinion, what's the biggest difference since he's been back with WWE, like in your opinion?
In terms of
just in general, just like in terms of matches, just in terms of storytelling, even though we got a good chunk of last year he wasn't able to wrestle, but like, how do you think the presentation of Cody has differed from when he was in AEW?
Good question,
mostly not at all, honestly. Cody was doing a big a WWE act in AEW. Like when you think of the pyro and like the whole thing, the long promos, everything like that, it was a WWE act, which is why it wasn't working all the time.
Right.
And if I had to pinpoint a difference, I would say that in WWE he tries to do like the crazy, but it makes sense in a way that it, like, in AEW, you just get to do the crazy, right? Whether it makes sense or not. Like, you get to jump through the flaming table and set yourself on fire.
He did that. He did
for
that.
Us.
Bleed 30 seconds into a match. And in WWE, it's like, all right, if you're going to do that, it has to make sense. And what you see on the WWE side of things with a lot of people is that they don't do certain things because they don't have to, because it's not going to actually give... Like, it doesn't mean anything to the storyline, and it doesn't give them that lasting impact with the fans as much as like a move set does. Like, they spam moves in AEW, and like AEW gives you some good fight scenes, but WWE gives you like the story that leads to the fight scenes, that leads to the epilogue, that has you like, damn, what's gonna happen next? And a lot of times you don't even need all that extra in the fight scenes.
Right. That honestly, that's probably the best way to say it. Shout outs to Brian Waters in the building.
B Waters.
Family always in the building. So we appreciate you joining. All right. So I guess we can talk about, once again, Backlash.
Okay, Puerto Rico.
WWE's premium live event this past weekend was in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And it's the first time they've been back in over 15 years. I think it was almost 18 years. It's the last time that I think New Year's Revolution was the last pay-per-view that WWE had in Puerto Rico. So let's talk about some highs and some lows. I mean, I honestly, the Omos and Seth Rollins match, psychology wise, surprised me. So let's talk about it. What are some ups and some downs? What are some highs, some lows for you guys with the pay-per-view? I guess we'll start with our guest, Stat Guy Greg. What is your thoughts on Backlash this past weekend?
Phenomenal show, a night of great wrestling, front to back. Everybody got their shit off. Bianca with the one-handed slam on EO. EO with just perfect tone setter of the night with how the crowd was behind her. Immediately, Zelina showing everybody that she can hang at the very top of the card. Mm-hmm. Omos and Seth too. They gave us a banger. Very, very few downs. Like you want to talk about highs and lows. I don't know how low we're going to be able to get because everybody overperformed for Puerto Rico from the beginning to the end. If I had to say, Bad Bunny not closing could be a low for me. Omos losing could be a low for me. But also, Rosenberg pointed this out on the latest Cheap Heat, which is available on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to the Ring of Wrestling Show feed and get new episodes instantly.
I'm always here for a cheap plug.
But Rosenberg pointed out that Cody and Brock closing made sense because when you look at a Bad Bunny, a Brock Lesnar, a Cody Rhodes, who's going to be there the next night on Monday Night Raw?
Correct.
Cody.
Yeah.
So let him close the show and let him.
I can't go for that.
Nah, I co-sign that actually.
Nah, because the thing is, yes, you make sense what you just said, but
I didn't say it, but I mean it does make sense.
It makes sense when
Rosenberg said it,
but wrestling's about moments, and Bad Bunny winning, closing out the show, that would be that's a bigger moment, and it just sets the tone. Like you're gonna go home with that image of Bab closing out the show and LWO having them on their shoulders. The nostalgia that's in there, the current superstar that we have in Damian Priest. Bad Bunny's one of the biggest artists in the world. You see that closing out the show, it's a whole different statement that's made. Yes, Brock, Cody ending the show, they're gonna be there the night before, but that also says they don't need to end the show because they're gonna be there the next night. We don't know the next time we're gonna see Bad Bunny on a premium live event. We don't know the next time we're going to be in Puerto Rico for that home field, just like in a championship at home.
On Game 7.
Yeah, or Game 7 at home.
Shout out to the Knicks.
Knicks is 7.
There's a difference between winning a championship on the road and winning a championship at home. There's a bigger story. There's a bigger moment in that. Like Kevin Garnett saying, anything is possible in TD Garden in Boston. The confetti coming down, the crowd going crazy, jumping on the court.
Don't forget when Kobe did like this with his chest.
What? Yeah, those are moments. Those are moments.
Shout out to the tall ball kings, Kobe Bryant and Kevin Garnett, by the way.
I'm outnumbered always either in gender or by hairstyle. It is like the craziest thing for me. But I don't know. I kind of side with Rosenberg on it. Like I kind of feel like on the celebrity aspect of it, I mean, you had the moment. You didn't take away from it. They gave them probably the most time on the card to do what they wanted to do with uninterrupted. It worked. I do think that how you start and how you end a show should be a continuing of what you have next to come. So,
but I kind of see it this way. When it comes to the Bad Bunny and the Bad Bunny main eventing or Cody is, listen, nobody's really talking about the Cody main event. It's like, it's a typical Cody, they bled, cool. Everybody talking about the whole Bad Bunny moment. You feel me though, son? So it's kind of a sense of like, yo, we got to give him that respect. So Nets, because Brock is still money. But at the end of the day, I kind of see Bad Bunny not just as a celebrity, but yo, he's part of the boys. I consider Logan Paul, Bad Bunny as this generation Shane McMahon, where you could throw him in any match with anybody because they're gonna put in the work in. You understand? We got 2 Shane McMahon now, not just one. You see how the original Shane McMahon is not doing it for us. Now we got 2 of them.
So
the original Shane's always
but it's crazy because it's happened numerous times. Rock versus Hogan took the show.
Exactly.
We have Kofi winning at WrestleMania took the show.
Took the air out of the
because we don't remember the main event.
We don't.
And that main event didn't have a title involved.
Exactly.
It was just Cody trying to get his lick back.
Now,
To be fair though, that main event was
fire.
The 2 biggest stars,
of the company,
hands down.
And then after the match, Brock got a standing ovation from the entire stadium in Puerto Rico.
The thing about it is, people in Puerto Rico did not buy that paper. Did not come there for Brock and Cody. They came for Bad Bunny.
They came for everybody because they don't get
wrestling
wrestling
for
like
Bad
that.
Bunny.
They don't get that like that. So they go.
They don't get Bad Bunny and wrestling the same exact time. They don't.
They don't.
They gave a Bad Bunny concert.
This was like sniffing crack and
wild.
having a Q-tip in your ear.
Wild.
That's a phenomenal feeling.
How
they get nipples rub on.
No,
I'm gonna take your word for it. I'm gonna take your word for it.
No, no, he don't. He don't even have a clue. But in terms of the low, not
crack,
low.
sniffing coke. Crack is a wild drug.
Wow, B. No. It's like doing mushrooms, having a spliff, and getting nipples rub on. Oh my!
And having a Q-tip in your ear.
Why is the Q-tip important?
You ever had a Q-tip in your ear?
But why is
after long day at work?
You don't see this.
No.
Okay. All right. Next question.
No, but no weirdos. Apologies, weird. No, for me actually, the 6-man didn't really hit for me. Outside of the
Master Uso Theater.
So you had the Usos and Solo, and you had Kevin Owens, Sammy, and Riddle. And I don't know if it was the Riddle part and them not connecting, but I kind of understand maybe why that's gonna be a thing. The really saving grace for that match for me was the whole Solo grabbing Jay. And I was like, and them figuring a way to continue the story without really Roman needing to be around.
But you need a bathroom break match. You understand? Because the first couple of minutes, is not really telling the story. By the time you come back, you're like, oh shoot, what did I miss?
Nah, I don't know.
No.
And
Out of respect for them, you needed a cool down. But like a very respectful cool down. WWE don't do what we call it. We don't do like intermission. They don't.
No.
In your defense too, I'll say, I forget who it is, but they tell this story about Eddie Guerrero, right? And they had a match with Eddie, and I'm forgetting most of the story. All right. So in my defense, the match before them tore it down. Like they got the crowd hyped. The crowd was eating out the palm of their hand, and this person was like, you know what, damn, we have to follow that.
Mm-hmm.
So they get in with Eddie. Eddie's calling it in the ring, and Eddie locks in a headlock, and then he's like, just wait. Eddie took the time to bring the crowd down so that they could be the ones to take the crowd back up instead of trying to like match the energy. So I think there's something to be said about what Mr. Black is going to in terms of that crowd control, right? Like, you know, it's even and DJs do this, and you see this all the time. Even like personal trainers, they take you all the way up and they give you some time to come down before they ramp you right back up again.
It's quality training right there.
That is quality
training.
Again, so I've heard.
Is that what you do?
That's exactly what I do. Good job, StatGuyGreg. You know,
this is why.
Shout out to the personal trainers. But throw that in there.
I want to talk about Matt Riddle in this Bloodline feud.
Talk to me, dogs.
Matt Riddle is Joe Pesci in the Goodfellas.
I like Joe Pesci. Though.
He is going to be a very critical character throughout this thing later on.
He's gonna cause the breakup between Sammy and Kevin.
Yes, that's what we need.
I get it.
Possible.
I don't think that. Okay, this is how I feel. Right? Is we seen Sammy versus Kevin Owens 1,001 times in WWE, right? But we never saw them as a tag team for a long period of time. You understand? You know, look, listen. Back in the day, I heard that they had like
we have though.
Like them. No, listen, Kevin Steen and El Generico. I haven't seen them in years. But it's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They've been beefing forever. So
but they had that period though when Daniel Bryan returned, right? Who did he return against? It was Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They had a
that was
long
a whole
run.
day.
But
Sami saved Kevin, and they never got to the titles, but they definitely did have a long run as tag.
But they didn't have the time. Okay. I agree with you, but I just feel like
it's facts. I didn't lie to you.
No, you did. I just feel like not yet because I want to see the Riddle versus Reign Orton match versus them. You feel me? There is more money now as them as a tag team long run, and eventually you can break them up because there's money either way. But why
that's
not
SummerSlam right there?
Right. So why not make the tag team money and get the single money later? You double dipping.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna break up soon, and I don't know what Riddle's gonna have, what hand Riddle's gonna have in that breakup, but I do think that them as a tag, because look at the tag team division, right?
Ooh.
It's them, it's the Usos, it's the Street Profits, Imperium, LWO,
Alpha Academy.
These people need people to mix it up with. Alpha
Judgment
Academy.
Day.
Yeah.
Alpha Academy might be on the way out. But these tag teams need
Listen,
people
as
to
long
mix it up.
as
Listen, Otis is shining. Otis is shining, so he might not need.
Listen, I love me some Chad Gable. So listen, if they break up and each of them can get a singles, I'm cool. Like, let's not drop the ball on either one just because maybe one may be a little more entertaining than the other one. But okay, so we did that. What was your thoughts on the women opening the show?
I think they gave us a strong opener, and I said this earlier before. Like, it perfectly set the tone for the night, right? Because that seemed to be the theme throughout the show. Is just like these heroic comebacks, that fighting spirit, that warrior spirit. And you got it from Bianca, you got it from Seth Rollins, you got it from Bad Bunny, you got it from Cody Rhodes, and like that seemed to be the theme of the night. And I think, and the crowd fully behind it the entire time. So to me, that was the perfect way to open it up. It set the tone, and I think everybody else was able to live up to that.
I agree.
Extremely high bar that was set.
No, everybody stepped up.
It was that women's match is the beginning of Bianca Belair's face villain arc.
I don't think so.
I think it is. She's not gonna be a heel anytime soon.
She got the Jonathan Cena effect. She can't be heel.
But
like, it's just not gonna happen.
It's the rumblings are gonna start, but the boos are gonna start coming. But we already heard the boos at that night. It's the beginning of a face villain arc, which I love.
But I'm not disagreeing with you.
But you're disagreeing with me.
No.
Yeah.
I want to add on to it, but I just feel like that's across anything. For example, LeBron James, right? This man been consistent since like they call him the what they call the king. He been consistent.
Chosen one.
I'm sorry, LeBron, the chosen one. Since they named the chosen one, Jordan named the chosen one too. He's like, yo, he's next up. The chosen one. He had no scandals. He started up a school. He put his mans on. You feel me? He does everything right, but people find some way to hate on him. I don't see it as a Cena fan. I just seen it as you so great. People try to nitpick at you like, hey, you walk this way. So this is why you're not that great. I just feel like people don't like greatness because they feel like you're not attainable no more. You feel me? You're not the underdog that I rooted for you no more. You're not relatable. Because you so great, dang, I'm envious.
No one likes perfect. No one likes the visual of perfect. No one likes the idealism of perfect. Like, no one likes that. So you're gonna be like, oh, she's been champion, the longest reigning women's champion in the modern era. Put some respect on her name. You go.
She's Goku. She's Goku. People hate Goku, but they love Vegeta. That's just what it is.
Explain. She's Goku. How so?
We gotta spit these bars real quick.
Yeah, spit these.
Talk to them. So, originally she was in NXT. That's Goku and Dragon Ball right there. Coming up, cooking. Then she goes on the main roster, has a couple little runs, and she got to go to King Kai. which is back to doing main event. Main event is where you go to King Kai,
and her King Kai was Selena Vega.
She's in main event on King Kai's planet, aka main event. So she's there.
The pandemic time.
Because there's nobody there. You high five on the side. So she's there cooking. And she finally comes back. Come back to Earth. And she's bodying everybody left and right.
You know what was her moment? There's a woman that people doubted and said that she will not win. No. Her moment when Becky Lynch. That's when Vegeta killed Krillin. She turned Super Saiyan.
Because Vegeta whooped Goku in how long? Like 2.5 seconds, right?
And killed Krillin.
And that's how she became Super Saiyan 1. And now she's out here 400 days, baby.
Come on, B.
400 plus.
Perfection.
400 plus.
For perfection.
400
but
plus.
then the only way she go to Super Saiyan 2 if she loses.
But here's the thing about Super Saiyan 2. That's the period where you either love Super Saiyan 2 or you don't. It's very controversial because people love Super Saiyan 2. People say, oh, it's just like remake to Super Saiyan 1, but people love 3.
But the thing about it, somebody gotta die.
Ooh. Might be the Street Profits. As a sacrifice?
Sacrifice Street Profits. Cell game. When are we going to Cell game? That's what we got to think about. When is Cell game going to start? So when is Cell game going to start for Bianca Belair? That's the thing, because right now we love her. We love her. And I'm talking about we.
I'm always going to love her.
Talk about we. We will always love her. But the overall world be like, yo, damn, she's too perfect. She's too great.
Something has to be wrong with her.
Something has to be wrong with her, but that's why we love Vegeta. And Bianca Belair is Cyclops.
Talk to them.
Great leader, a little boring sometimes, but still got the swag. But nobody really appreciates the greatness that they've done. They look over the greatness. How many times has Cyclops saved the X-Men?
With his Arctic Blast.
How many times has Bianca has put on great matches, put on phenomenal promos, but we don't look at it.
The 4 horsemen. The 4 horsemen.
But you know what? StatGuyGreg needs to talk, because I just explained why she's Cyclops, why she's there.
Listen, the Goku comparison. You know what? I have no notes. I can't even. You laid it out perfectly. I don't want the Street Profits to get sacrificed for her to evolve and continue on this path. I was gonna say that I think the reaction that she got in Puerto Rico, those boos where she was firmly placed in the villain role, was a one-off. But when you step back and big picture it, and when you point to the fact that this happened to John Cena, and that this happened to Roman Reigns, and that this happened even outside of wrestling to some of the greatest to do it, where they have that little villain era, where the majority of the people don't like them as much and appreciate them as much as they should. Even Muhammad Ali had a little villain era during the civil rights movement.
With his religion and stuff, and picking thighs and stuff like that. I feel like
Bianca is gonna have to go through that face villain era where she doesn't sacrifice her morals, but that they are not appreciated.
So the Jonathan Cena blueprint. I'm trying to tell
so let me ask you this though.
I don't want it to happen, but I feel like
is this her Cell game then? Are we entering into Bianca's Cell game era?
But who's gonna be her Cell?
That's all we gotta ask.
Well, okay, think about, because y'all know I'm lost as fuck. But she's on SmackDown now. She will be representing SmackDown as a SmackDown Women's Champion very shortly. So who got drafted on there that could be probably
Damage Control is right there behind her. Damage Control got drafted with her to SmackDown. So it's not like
they may run back the EO in her though.
Yeah, it's not
they
like
should.
She's free of Damage Control just yet. They are right there with her on SmackDown.
So is EO her Frieza?
Oh, Vaughn said Charlotte.
Someone said Bianca.
Charlotte could come back at any time.
Yeah,
that is true. So
I'm trying to think who else on here is like.
Let me ask you a question. Out of the 4 horsewomen, well, 3 now, out of the 3 of them available in the company, which one she had the best matches with?
Well, the match was
I have to say Bailey.
I feel like
Bailey,
because I'm explaining Bailey because I compare. That's a Frieza. Because no matter what, Bailey always come back better and better and better.
I like the match with her and Becky actually. It's weird.
Yeah, it's
because I'm not a really big Becky fan like that. So, but like her and Becky, like after because it was like her get back. So like the Mania match in Dallas, I felt like I was like, she got the new WrestleMania streak going on, so we just gonna let her.
What is it? 3-0? It's 3-0.
Yeah, I've literally been to the last 3 WrestleManias. She's literally won every match and the titles every WrestleMania.
Yeah. 3-0 and title matches too.
Yeah, so that's like you got to look at like how they're positioning her and like how they really took like a down thing. I never forget, everybody was so upset about the SummerSlam match and it was like, why did they do that? And it was just like, everyone likes the underdog. Everyone likes to come up. No one's gonna deny the come up. So for her to take that from August and then wrap it all the way to that following April, that was impressive. They didn't do that for anyone else.
Let me ask guys all a question. Shout out to Brian Waters and what they're doing out there. One of his co-hosts said this. They let go Sasha because they had a better version of her with Bianca.
I think when it came to
who was it? Dwayne who said that?
Yeah.
I mean, Dwayne was wilding on that one, but Dwayne was
I kind of get it to that point of like they wanted that. I don't want to say token black girl, but they wanted Sasha to be that for the culture. I think kind of imagery for us, and I think the biggest difference is definitely who's a team player and who isn't. In that instance where with Bianca, I think for them they saw more of like. There was more teachable things I think for her than with Sasha, and I just think the consistency it's a bunch of things I feel like, but I do feel like what Sasha should have been and would have been is what Bianca is right now.
Someone said that. Oh, to my brother. Someone said Sasha is Vegeta. I think that's a great comparison because
I like that one
because. If you
Nolan, shout out to Nolan for that.
Yeah, shout out to because if you like read the comment, okay, let me answer the question. Okay, reason I feel like you can't compare that two because when Sasha was on top, it was all about the E, not about the players. And when Bianca was coming along, they switched their model to where like, nah, we gotta feature these people because when Sasha Banks was on on that Star Wars show, I can't pronounce. I forgot what it is. Mandalorian. They never advertised it, but when Bianca does stuff, they advertised it because it's a different company model. So
I don't know if that's fair. I saw Sasha in Star Wars gear on Raw, like
yeah,
but they never
they showed like commercials and stuff.
Of course, but they never really acknowledged it. It was like the turning towards the end.
What do you think, Greg?
Wait.
Oh, are you still going?
No. And another thing too is like I forgot my point, but go ahead, Greg. Go ahead. What do you think?
I think so. First, let me just say this before I say what I'm about to say. I have no insight into anybody's backstage relationships with anyone or anything, but I think that as somebody pointed this out to me, and it makes a lot of sense. As fans, we see the presentation, right? So we see the wrestling and we see the character, and we think, okay, this person should get this, and this person, like, why aren't they getting this opportunity, that opportunity? And these people are in a workplace. So it's like, we go to work and we see like the dude who may be talented but is an asshole. They don't get as far as the guy who like has limited talent, but everybody likes him. You can show him off to clients. Like they sort of smooth their way up the ladder. I'm not saying that Sasha Banks' personality held her back. What I'm saying is, it really is not fair to compare the two of them and say like Bianca's a better version of Sasha because we don't have the full scope of who they are, right? I do think what you were saying was true in that Bianca was at times presented better than Sasha, right? Because there was a point where Sasha would get a championship and then lose it right away in the defense. And Bianca has been able to hold the title for 400 days. But even when I think about like that we don't really know what the people who are making the decisions see because they see more. I think about a story of a time that I got to be in the presence of the tribal chief Roman Reigns. And I was like, okay, this is why he is that dude. Like, this is why he's the locker room leader that we hear about. And this was before this persona, tribal chief, right? This was the big dog era.
Oh.
It was WrestleMania Orlando.
I was at the when Talent he beat Hotel. Taker.
Yeah, this was when he beat Taker.
Yeah.
I was at the Talent Hotel. This might have been either the day before the match or the day after the match, but it was very close to the match. And Wilkins, I don't know if you went to the Talent Hotel when you were down there when you were out in LA, but so if you've been, you know the vibe. Like everybody goes, they hang out, they drink, they eat, they say what's up. It's like it's just real chill atmosphere. But I went that year and I was kind of hungry, so I went to the bar area and like I saw some people eating. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna have some food. They tell me that the kitchen is closed, right? No food, kitchen's closed. So I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll drink. About a half an hour, 15 minutes to half an hour later, Roman comes in with his wife and someone else. And like at this point, it's packed in there. There's nowhere to sit. It's like it's wall to wall. They bring out a table for him.
That's some mafia shit.
That's what I'm talking about.
Mafia shit.
They put the cloth on the table, white cloth.
Goodfellas, that's what I say.
They bring out the joint to make sure there's no crumbs on it, even though they literally they whipped it out, put it on, but still just to double check that it's clean and crisp. They whipped out the drink for the no crumbs. They put seats around the table, and then they bring him menus so he could order from the kitchen that they told me was closed about 15 to 30 minutes ago. That is the service that he got in the Big Dog era, and this is and it's based on nothing but like how he carries himself. Because remind you, this is not WWE doing this for him. This is the hotel doing this for him. So this is a reflection of how he carries himself and the respect that he brings when he walks into a room. And this was like 5 years ago. Yeah. So just imagine
him now.
Exactly.
Yo, they probably closed a hotel floor for this man.
And this is the guy, but this is what people weren't seeing when people were like booing him and saying he has no charisma. He's boring on the mic. He's being shoved down our throats.
Yeah.
Why are they sending him to do all this media? And the answer is because of what they see is the guy that carries himself well enough to carry the company and take it forward. And now we get to see that. Now we get to see that in the tribal chief.
So I want to piggyback on
full circle.
I want to piggyback on both of you guys' story, but this is with Bianca, and I'm happy you said that about Roman, and I'm happy you said that about Sasha. Me personally, once again, we're potting right now. We're taking very, very intelligent guesses about situations.
Right.
I've met Sasha. She has trained at my school numerous times. Sasha, to me, this is what I feel it is a wrestler's wrestler. She's about
the craft.
Mm-hmm. The whole like, I'm here to wrestle. I'm here to become better. I'm trying to be the best that I ever can be. Just as a professional wrestler, not a professional wrestler / entertainer. This is just my opinion on that one. Mm-hmm. Her dream place was to go wrestle in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Mm-hmm. WWE was the first to hit her up first, and that's how she ended up at WWE. And she did her thing.
Absolutely.
And I crushed it. What she did how she put over Bianca at WrestleMania, woo! You can never take that away from her.
In the rain.
We have heard the rumors about Sasha being mean to fans. I don't believe that because she was always so sweet to me when I've met her. And she didn't have to be. Mm-hmm. Now, I do believe at times when you are such a purist when it comes to your craft, you want things a certain type of way. We can talk about so many rappers are like that. We hear it about so many
Ryan Leslie was like that.
Yeah, singers.
And some wrestlers are like that too.
Yeah, and some wrestlers and some actresses, some actors, they are so purist when it comes to their craft. And sometimes it may rub certain people the wrong way. Because it's like, yo, can you do this for me? Nah, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be this. And as we see Sasha in New Japan Pro Wrestling, you see like a light shine around her. You see her glowing because this is what she wants to do.
Because it's fun.
This is more fun to her. Now, I met Bianca Belair when I was with Complex. We did a A Day in the Life with Bianca Belair. I have spoken about this numerous times, but I'll speak about it again because it goes to what you said about Roman Reigns. Bianca is media trained out the ass. Bianca is who you send to do a radio show, who you send to do a television show, because she says all of the right things. So nice, so sweet. I'm not taking that away from Sasha, though. But when it comes to Bianca, it's this presence of being with the media and being with the fans is on another level. And I'm explaining something. The day I did the Day in the Life with her, and we're walking through City Field. We're walking through it. This is the same exact day Vince stepped down as CEO of the company. And the rumors were swirling all around. We're walking through a tunnel and a fan sees us and she goes, Bianca, yo, what up? So what do you think about Vince doing that sex shit? And her face didn't change. Her face didn't, like, her body language didn't change. She moved like perfectly. She's like, oh, hey, how are you? And kept it moving. Fans were swarming her, but you never seen her break a sweat. So there's a level of like, yo, hey, and it goes by what you said, Greg. It's like, this works a little bit more when we need this for this. You, Sasha, you're good over here because we need you for this.
And another thing too that you got close to the line, but you didn't cross it, was passion, right? Sasha's very passionate about the wrestling, and sometimes that also gets misconstrued, whether it's backstage, whether it's in front of the fans, or like so. But like you said, intelligent guesses. That's all we're taking about the who's, what's, and the whys. And like, I have no evidence that Sasha ever rubbed anybody the wrong way. I doubt it, but my point is that there are a lot of moving parts because those are a lot of personalities to manage within the roster and make sure that everybody is in the right place to make sure that the company goes forward. And even if you think about Cody, right? There was a time when he would not have been in this place on the roster.
No.
In terms of putting the company forward, and his passion was not going to shine through as somebody that belongs in this position versus the position that he was already in. And I think that is the part that people forget that's tough, is that they're putting on a show and they're managing a lot of personalities and they're trying to do all of that, and you cannot get pulled in all the different directions, because then you're just sitting on a house of cards, right? Somebody's going to be hot one moment, they're not the next. And then it's up to you as the company to build them up to be in that position to drive everything forward versus, letting the fans say, all right, we're going to pick up this toy. We're done with it. We're going to put him down. We're going to pick up this one and just go with those whims. Because then you'll be in all over the place. The tail's wagging the dog at that point.
And to be honest, Sasha walked so Bianca can run. Like we can't deny the way that she put her over and helped her out and did what she did. What Dwayne said was a great point. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But I do believe they're on like a different side of the spectrum when it comes to that. So actually I have a question for you guys, and then we'll give our farewells to StatGuyGreg as he has to continue on his day. But my question to you guys is, do you think the era of NXT kind of plays a part in how well certain talent is media trained now? Because you said, we mentioned, I asked this because when we had out in LA, we did the media thing, and when Sir Wilkins had interviewed Carmelo Hayes, and there was one thing that we listen,
shout out to Melo.
He is phenomenal. Like, we knew him as Christian Casanova amazingly. So like, we knew him from the indies back here, the Northeast and at home. So like, even like when we finished and he was just like, yo, he's so media trained. Like he knows what to say. He's ready. He doesn't, break. That same token you said about Bianca when you had the Day in the Life for her. Do you think the era of NXTs kind of do that? Because you have to remember that NXT era of like the Sasha, the Bailey, the Charlotte, they all kind of came up to the main roster. I think right when at that time when NXT was starting to really gear on that performance center aspect again. Where now you had Bianca come through that. You had, now you have the Carmelo, you have the Braun Breaker. Like, do you, how well or how much of an effect does that NXT time affect, someone on the main roster now?
I feel like
let Greg say, because I don't know he got to go.
Okay, go ahead.
I think the NXT time is crucial, but I don't want to overstate how much like media training plays a part in, because like Carmelo, great guy, Bianca Belair, fantastic human being. So I don't want to give the media training too much credit for just how approachable they are and how much of a joy they are to be around. But the NXT time, though, for sure is crucial in a lot of ways, like in terms of teaching them how to wrestle for the camera, how to handle a what chant. You know what I mean? Just like because that NXT crowd down there too is sort of ruthless in of themselves. The promo classes, like the nutrition, like you notice people's bodies change when they leave NXT, because I'm assuming they don't have people on them like, yo, you need to hit the gym at this
Yeah, look at Cameron Grimes about to debut on
this.
SmackDown this week, and he got like a good solid 10, 15 up here in the chest. Like, that's for real, for real.
So like that NXT time is crucial, and like they give everybody the knowledge, and then what they do with it, it's like knowledge you get anywhere, right? It's up to you. But I do think that NXT time is crucial. But the reason why I don't want to give, the media training too much of the credit is because even before NXT, you had a guy like a Chris Jericho or like a John Cena who you could send anywhere. And some of that was in how he just carried himself, or how they carried themselves, like, Bret Hart, or like a Trish Stratus that you could send and do interviews and be forward facing. And some of that was just how they carried. So I don't know how much media training they had back then. I'm assuming not a lot, because the 90s were lawless.
If not anything.
but a lot of it was just how they carry themselves. I don't want to give the media training in the company too much credit for like these people being able to shine on top, besides just the fact that they give them the opportunity to do it at a higher level, and they're paying them millions of dollars to do it, which is not bad.
Okay. What did you guys think?
I think so. NXT 2.0 is probably, in my opinion, the most well-rounded version of NXT. When we go back to Golden Black, and everybody talks about the OG era of NXT, it was some of the best wrestling we have seen in the past 20 years.
Wrestling.
And now we have NXT 2.0, and I may not like the skits sometimes, or some of the stuff that's being done there, but it's prepping them for the bigger stage. And when you get more time in front of the camera, because NXT 2.0 does about 500K a week, 400 to 500K a week in views. That's a lot of people watching you.
Yeah.
That I don't care. I know we all talk about ratings and stuff like that, and we're all talking about millions and millions and millions, but 400 people watching you every week.
400 is not too much. 400,000.
I'm sorry, 400,000. That's 400K a week is a lot of people watching you. Mm-hmm. So the mere fact that you got to get better every week, you got to improve, and then you have somebody like Shawn Michaels there, who is a little bit more like, he's not the modern era, but he's closer to this era than like other people before. So you're learning a lot about it, and you're getting more at bats with the media. Like before, back in the day, you weren't even. NXT was like they were in the back of the house. They ain't coming out. But now they're giving them opportunities. But like StatGuyGreg, personality plays a huge factor.
And I can't say this enough. I have no real insight into any of these people's personalities. And don't run away with this and say that Sasha's an asshole.
No. I'm just saying you either got it or you don't. Mm-hmm. Sasha has it. Mm-hmm. But when we talked to Carmelo, we knew Carmelo Hayes when he was wrestling on the northeastern indie scene, and he was like that.
That bingo hall and a hot dog and a handshake like type of situation.
He was like that. He was him before he was him.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, I say the biggest difference between the different NXTs is I compare it to a basketball team. You got to build culture, because the original NXT was a game show that they replaced for to replace because ACW was dying. All right, next week gonna be a game show. That's one culture. And then, hey, we got a network. We got to put something on there. It wasn't a big audience. So certain things, it was kind of like the Wild Wild West, where we have no real structure. I like this person, but then when they go to the main roster, it always collided with Vince's vision. So now you got to do certain things. You got to do certain things. You got to do certain things. You got to replace the coaches. You got to replace the GM. Hey, I got Shawn Michaels. Who is the most Vince's guy ever? Shawn Michaels, because he gets it. As a person who basically transitioned from the big bulky guys to the nice slim guys, he was the poster child because he was entertaining. He knew how to wrestle, media trained. He was controversial, and he was not afraid of Vince.
But I also think to piggyback with you real quick, you mentioned Shawn Michaels. He was the asshole at one time when he lost his smile, and then he found God.
Exactly. So
you know both sides of the fence.
So you know both sides. You understand? You know a person who literally had to leave wrestling, start his own thing, and then building stuff back up. So he knows how to be at the very top and the very bottom. Hey, I know how it feels where you're better, you may not be the most talented in the ring, Mario Jannetty, but charisma wise, you got it. So let me empathize that. So it's like your in-ring will catch up. You understand? So now you have a smoother transition. You don't have Ascension that's like, what the hell are you doing on the main roster? Because it worked with Triple H, but it doesn't work with Vince. You understand? So I feel like Sasha came around where you didn't appreciate her until she's gone. She was like Carmelo when Carmelo came to the Knicks. Oh, we didn't appreciate Melo when he was here. When he left, dang, son. I appreciate Carmelo taking the big shots, dealing with the media the way he did. NXT back in the day was not respected because nobody took the time out to watch it because it was not on network television. It wasn't. It was behind an app. So now, hey, mad people are watching me. I'm trending on Twitter. Hey, how do I deal with Shawn Michaels? You do da. And then got more smarter people could understand this didn't work. So let me reshape the culture. NXT 2.0 was where, they traded everybody off the team and just got a whole bunch of people we got mad draft picks. Let's draft them. And that's really set the culture. NXT is the Warriors. Speaking of the Warriors, got the colors on. NXT now became the Warriors, where great comparison. Back in the day, they had to beat Diddy, Steven Jackson, Monte. Now you had to get rid of Monte. You had to get rid of the old NXT, the Ciampa, the Garganos. You had to go through the awkward period. Hey, you gonna keep Gargano on top, or you gonna raise up Braun Breaker? Buy Monte Ellis. Let's give him time to make him become the Steph Curry. So it just takes time. That's it. To get that culture right.
Wow, this has been an amazing little chit chat. StatGuyGreg,
yes.
Plug. Let everyone know that's watching right now where to find you guys when you guys come on and all of jazz. And if you guys have any upcoming things you want to discuss, the floor is yours.
At StatGuyGreg on Twitter, Instagram, the Ringer Wrestling Show on Spotify. Subscribe. You can get Cheap Heat every Tuesday, every Friday, along with Wednesday Worldwide, hosted by Brian Waters, Brother Cal, Ben Cruz. Over at the Ringer, and then of course the Masked Man Show Mondays and Thursdays, Shoemaker and Kaz. In fact, I believe a new Masked Man Show is on the way very soon.
Ooh,
all right.
And then of course the Cheap Heat Friday show tomorrow.
Listen, y'all holding it down almost like wrestling is every day. Y'all got a show every other day. But no, once again, we thank you for joining us. Once again, we appreciate everything you've done for the culture and for the community of wrestling. It's not taken for granted. So we thank you for that. You got to come back to Legends and come hang out and have a drink with us soon. Okay.
It's a long way from Philly, but I'll try to make my way back.
All right. Sounds good. Take care. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, don't mention it. Thank you for having me.
No problem. We're going to talk about This Week in Wrestling, where, once again, Backlash, was last weekend, and it went right into the freshly new roster on Monday Night Raw. We had the debut of Zoe Stark. Speaking of NXT, super excited for her. I can't wait for her and Becky, her and just everybody is so great. They also had the return of Becky Lynch. Listen, I'm gonna buy that Trish Stratus shirt. Absolutely. Like that was hilarious. Like that's just so it's so great. Like trying to think what else happened. Oh, Brocky coming back. Listen, Brock Lesnar fucking came out of nowhere. Hoodie and all. And Gash, I knew it because everyone was like, so we were at the bar because that was after you had left and we were watching the pay-per-view at Legends.
I'll watch it on my phone.
And no, but we were there, is what I'm saying. And everybody was like questioning, like, oh, did Brock blade himself? And I'm just like, no. The way that went down was not even close to a blade. So you can, and then he got the staples in the middle of his face. I was like, God damn. Somebody give my man some cocoa better immediately. But
AEW had the best ending this week.
Okay, so we're gonna get there. We got slow cook.
No, you guys are talking about this week of wrestling. I'm just saying AEW had one of the best endings that they've ever had in a long time.
Did the ending save the entire show, or was
the show was good?
The whole show was fire.
The show was good, but like the thing about it, they did something that they haven't done in a while, which was like episodic type of thing. You had like I said before, Kenny's top 5 in the world, top 3. Yeah, he made Moxley look like a real wrestler.
Nah. This is where that I refuse to continue to the slander on my man Mox. B, it's end today. It ends today. Let's see a slander for months. Today, but yes, today's the day. You know, Stephen A. Fake. You know, Walk Bayless. No, Dad Shannon. All right, you're gonna end today. Jon Moxley is what AEW needs because he makes sense because he fit that culture. Meaning that any match you throw me in, I'm gonna be Jon Moxley. You feel me? And at the end of the day, you may shit on Aquaman though, but the whole planet is made out of water. You feel me though, son? Like literally, Aquaman could be in the crib chilling. Like the whole ocean is on top of you, B. Superman can't do that. He gotta fly to you, B.
But Aquaman can't fly. If there's a continent in the way, he can't get around it.
So he has to swim around it?
He has to swim around it. Superman just flies over.
Listen.
Well, who's getting there faster, Aquaman or Superman?
Aquaman, B.
No.
Have you been deep sea before, B? Have you saw deep seas? He could summon some like ancient monster to attack people.
But the thing about it, Superman can't be killed.
The analogy
I can kill Aquaman.
Niggas use.
I can kill Aquaman. You can't kill Superman unless you get some green shit, kryptonite. You can't kill him, my nigga Superman.
It is impressive.
And then hold up, Batman, aka Seth Rollins. He may not got no superpower, but he knows everybody's weakness.
No, so you're saying that Seth?
Okay.
I agree with you.
I guess that could be Batman.
But I don't want.
Who are the Avengers of wrestling?
I don't want to hold on, but I don't want to take shit on Moxley like that. Yes, but the way he made Moxley look,
he made him look like a wrestler.
No. It was like it takes two to tango.
They told the whole story.
We all know that. We all know that. But what Omega did in that match.
Wait, whoever just said that 75% water, who are you? Put your name at the end of the comment. He said the world 75% water. Superman is weak to magic.
A real wrestler is crazy. Someone said Aquaman can't see. I can't see Aquaman. Oh, 7% is water. Superman weak to magic. Okay,
Superman is not weak to magic.
No. That's some old golden age weakness because it makes sense back in the day. But new Superman is not weak to magic. But
I get what you're saying,
right?
But the way Kenny put that match, listen, the way they put that match together in that cage, and then the way that they got it to open up, Don Callis comes out, and then nobody expected that. Nobody expected that. Nobody fully expected that. And then him running away.
I saw it coming.
Him running away, like, I got to talk to somebody was awesome. And that's what they need to do. Hopefully they continue doing that. Number two, the only thing I did hate though, this nigga Tony Khan needs to always make an announcement about an announcement.
Announcement about another announcement.
That doesn't need to be done anymore, bro.
Get ready. So the announcement he did make is Warner Brothers and Discovery will have their performance deck, I think, presentation next week here at the theater at Madison Square Garden. So they have the big announcement that they will announce at that exact date and time next week. Don Callis with the Judas betrayal. Yeah. But I saw, it's weird because you can use, I saw it from how he did Hangman. So I was just like, oh, Don is out here trying to sabotage. When he tried to turn Kenny against Hangman and that didn't work, I said, nah. Sooner or later, he gonna figure out a way to turn on him.
But
so I just was like, I mean, I enjoyed it. I think I like the episodic because I think especially for their viewership, it helps because they've been under 800,000 the last like 2 weeks. So I think being able to end the show off and making people like, okay, what is next? I think is the right. It's the it's the right direction to go in.
So let me ask you a question about like I'm about to ask you again.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about like let's talk about the whole Warner Brother paying them like I think $1 billion a year for 5 years?
No, $1 billion over 5 years, supposedly.
So $1 billion over 5 years. Honestly,
okay.
I'll be real honest with you.
Right.
It just shows you that how that wrestling is hot right now.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people may not know. All the writers are on strike.
So yes, if you've been living kind of under a rock, but not really, the Screen Guild writers are on strike. So like your late night shows aren't on
the scripted television.
Any scripted TV. So like it delays like shows like Abbott Elementary.
Mm-hmm.
So like any scripted TV shows are on strike right now. So it is a time, and it's interesting because I don't know why. And I guess they tried it. I guess when they picked up AEW. That's exactly how we survived the pandemic when you think about it. Like everything else was like in the shits, but wrestling upheld during the pandemic and nothing adjusted to that. So I think in terms of longevity wise, a network should look at like a wrestling programming because that is something that can go on all year long and not be uninterrupted.
But the thing about wrestling is why I feel like it's more better than a reality TV show because it's on 24/7 and I don't have to monitor y'all. Meaning that you already have your own people built in where they don't have to hire a writer from the Writers Guild. They get a former wrestler or somebody who's in wrestling to help write the show.
Yeah, the last time I think they were on strike for almost over 100 days. So it's interesting to see how long this may go out, but it's just, I mean, if that is whatever deal they got is amazing for them. And whether, you like AEW or not, because y'all know sometimes 80% of it, I just be like, what the fuck? But regardless of it, it's great for wrestling. It's great for them. Like we had talked about last week, I'm not too sure because they are pushing the CM Punk returning on the Saturday night show. Come I think mid-June, they're looking at the United Center. But like that Saturday time, like there's just so much that has to, and then you have Rampage on inconsistent times because of sports and things like it's just like.
So what?
How are you gonna balance 3 shows?
So what it is? There's a couple things.
Wait. Is Riot Strike mostly about
the streaming profit?
No. It's deeper than that.
No, getting fair pay.
No, it's deeper than that. The thing is all about AI writing stuff for them.
That's part of it.
Yeah, but it's the biggest. Is that? And they said, hey, don't use AI. Hell no. That's when they're on strike. They come right in the middle somehow. And another thing is the writers' rooms are shrinking. Let's say how that usually is like 20 people, 30 people in the room. That is shrinking down to 5 people or 10 people.
Well, it's a combination of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Even yes, one thing could be bigger for some people, but others it could be a different.
Think about when MTA went on strike.
So
CM Punk is a Steph Curry of wrestling. No, he's not.
Yeah, that was
so one of the biggest things what people don't understand is that wrestling is live 90% of the time, and most people don't stream wrestling.
No,
you don't stream it 90% of the time. You might watch a clip here and there, but you don't stream wrestling.
No.
So when it comes to advertising, wrestling is premier. It's right underneath sports because most people watch wrestling live. And when we spoke to Greg, it was like you have 400K people live who are watching it. So if I put my ad dollars in it, they're gonna see it right away.
And don't forget on Twitter,
trending. But it's not even that. It's you're watching it on your TV at that moment. And but that's the thing when it comes to wrestling, because you like you guys mentioned, it's all year round. That's one. There's no off season. But you're guaranteed 300 to whatever plus 300K to whatever plus watching your program on a every weekly basis. So when Pizza Hut puts that stuff on there, they have
I hate that guy on that commercial.
they have those commercials on a weekly basis. They have people automatically. They're gonna see my ad.
They got the cricket wireless one with Bianca.
Yeah, I guarantee that.
And the good thing about like the wrestling with like advertisement, whatever, is you could tell they're getting better advertising. Because when they first started, the advertisement sucks. Like, what the hell is this? It was just like, all right, now you see them getting more higher quality advertising. That means that the dollars are coming in. Because let's say that it's a spot where Orange Cassidy versus whatever, right? Commercial break. It could be for orange juice. It could be for latest product, whatever. They paying AEW $1 million just for that spot.
But it's also the fact that they're gonna own the rights for the next 5 years. If this deal is correct, AEW just signed a 360 deal,
which is wild.
But the thing about it, though, I'm getting $1 billion to put into my company. So yes, I have these multiple shows, but you're funding it. One of the biggest problems with why WCW went downhill was because because TNT wasn't funding Thunder.
No, so
they wasn't gonna return.
They were losing.
They were losing more money,
gaining more every episode.
The fact that they're asking them to put an AEW show on Saturday night, they're granting them that means that okay, we can put money in this and see a return. And they believe in the product.
Vaughn said Tony is swindling. That nigga swindled his way into that Wembley Stadium 3 times this year, and I think it's the greatest. I think it was the funniest thing when they had put up.
I mean, I don't see nothing. I think it's listen. At the end of the day, everyone eats. At the end of the day, because let's say your live show don't get a million, right? But let's say 4 key moments happen on AEW Dynamite, and those 4 key moments one get $1 million, one get $4 million, one get $5 million, another one may go super broad and get $10 million. Those are all advertising dollars that they see on that. You understand? And a good thing about wrestlers is they don't come with the drama. They came to work, and that's it. So they're great on commercials. You understand? They're great on television shows. So you
except if you're CM Punk.
Except if you're CM, because you get the best of both worlds. You get an actor and an athlete.
But I just like the only thing I see that the benefit is that they're getting the return on their money because Miro is back.
Yes, so
because and then you're paying.
What did he do? We had missed that. There was a whole fire out like across the street from us.
No, he just went in there.
So what happened?
No, you saw him. He went to Tony Khan's office. Then
just like the Rosa did.
Yeah.
But which I was surprised is I had heard she was having surgery.
But the thing, I thought that was wild. But the thing is that they're paying these people a ton of money. They need a return on their investment. So now you have a third show potentially. They can wrestle and hopefully they can pull the ratings for that show. Because if that show does 400K plus, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of people.
Yeah. And don't forget the live gates, the ticket sales and stuff like that.
Oh, but talking about ticket sales, so they had when the tickets and sales for All In had went out, they said around about 60,000 tickets were sold.
Wait,
for All In.
Someone said this. Based on what I seen, started the pipe bomb swag. He's the second most important wrestler. Sold outdraw $1 million for a Rampage on a fucking rumor. It wasn't a rumor. It was kind of confirmed. That's one.
No, it was kind of iffy. You didn't. It was like you knew, but you didn't know, but you didn't know, but you knew. It was one of the weird things. So listen, CM Punk is a draw, regardless of what. Regardless of anything. He is that. Listen, I tell this story all the time. Punk debuted on that Rampage. I got my ass on a flight to go see him on Dynamite. So like he's a draw.
Let me ask you a question. But do you think that he falls in the same category as what you mentioned earlier? You know, check out the earlier part. If you're listening later on, not live. Does he fall in that he cares about the craft too much? Meaning that he cares about it too much, where he forgets that reality.
No, he's a fucking dick.
No, I don't think craft comes to play.
No, he's a fucking
with
dick.
him, unfortunately. But no, but regardless of him being a dick or whatever, he's a drug. Just like we talked about what HBK was on the drug HBK days. He was a dick, he was an asshole, but he was still a draw.
Okay. Let me ask all you guys a question. I'm dead ass serious about this. Other than he's a draw, What else does he have to AEW?
But see, just like Vaughn said, you have to determine, is it worth it? Is it worth it?
What else does he have to AEW? Because when he was on AEW, he felt out of place.
Well,
like he felt like a Buzz Lightyear toy in Toy Story. You're battery operated,
like
but we're
Buzz,
not.
though.
Well, the thing. So
other than the fact that he bring eyes,
no.
What else does he have?
No, but the thing.
They paying them all this money, and that's what they want. They gotta give them what they want.
But you can't deny. There's a couple things about this. I don't like CM Punk, the person, Phil.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Phil.
Yeah.
I don't like Phil.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck about Phil at all.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, he is a draw. His job was to come in there and get the rest of the and to elevate the whole entire roster. That's what you do.
But does he feel like he belongs? Cody at least feels like
because Cody belongs in the E.
Correct. Cody never belonged there.
No. At the end of the day,
Cody never belonged there.
At the end of the day, Phillip Brooks, aka CM Punk, does not belong in AEW. That's why he feels out of place. He is way too polished for AEW, which is not a bad thing, but it's also not a great thing.
Mm-mm.
To go about what you said, because you were 100% right. When it comes to him being in AEW, he was somewhat out of place. But his job was, as being that veteran wrestler, like I keep saying, was to elevate that whole entire locker room.
Mm-hmm.
When he
came, talk about that locker room.
He came in, and you were supposed to elevate that. He was supposed to be LeBron. You come in, you bring us a championship. But he came in like Melo. Don't disrespect Melo.
Nah.
He came in like Melo, and y'all barely made the playoffs.
We didn't get a title off of that
one. My son Melo Yellow.
We didn't get a title.
He came like James Harden, meaning that you can do all of this stuff.
No,
not winning nothing.
No. He came like Kyrie.
Okay.
Oh, but somebody said Punk was Kyrie. Was that Vaughn? Somebody said that on the comments? Somebody did say that he was more Kyrie, which actually makes more sense.
Because at the end of the day, Punk is a number 2 superstar.
I don't really do the best.
Why you feel CM Punk is a number 2 superstar?
Because he can't.
He won't elevate anyone else.
No, it's not even that. It's even deeper than that. He cannot lead a locker room.
So, was it wrong? Was it wrong that he never let CM Punk main event a pay-per-view, and he continuously had to put over John Cena? Because, like you said, like shout out to StatGuyGreg. He mentioned that it's deeper than that. Because if nobody really if he rubbed everybody the wrong way, why would I allow you to main event?
But it's okay.
I think with Punk though, towards the end, it was definitely, I think, more of a you didn't know the value after he left thing. Because I always said, the beginning of the end was when he lost the title to Rock at that Rumble. And I think even then the fans and that was like when he was that title reign was like over with 300 days.
Yeah.
Because that was Paul Heyman used to always go like over 300 days, whatever. So I think it was that it's always a catch-22 with Punk, I think, because you're gonna get someone that's gonna get asses in seats, and we talk about that even when we talk about Jobbertears, cheap plug, July 29th, or regardless of anything, he puts asses in seats. But I think, on top of, I guess, not being that locker room leader, I do think Phil just didn't. It goes back to when Moxley was on his wife's show and he was just like, "Yo, he didn't want a job, so I had to put the team on my back and do it." Listen, because he doesn't want to elevate anyone else.
It's all about him. So let's look at
Very Hogan.
Let's look at Punk's career. Let's look at Punk's career real quick. Let's really look at Punk's career.
From?
Wait, I'm talking about WWE.
Okay, WWE Punk.
Oh, okay.
He comes into WWE. How many times did he win Money in the Bank?
What, twice?
So you win Money in the Bank twice. You are a champion for over how many days?
Definitely over 300.
Over a year.
Definitely over 300.
Wait.
They did put him in a good spot with Jeff Hardy.
Hold on. No. And then you fought Jeff Hardy. You fought Cena. Now, the one mistake we can argue is the Rock situation.
That's not an argument.
We could go back. We could go back and forth.
But
at the end of the day, Rock's a bigger star than you. Cena's a bigger star than you. Point blank. Period. They sell more than you.
434. Wow.
They sell more than you. At the end of the day, they sell more than you.
But
the thing about it, you wrestled Undertaker.
Yeah.
And your match stole the show.
That's the only match that was my first meeting. Only match I remember.
The fact that your match stole the show. Now, you made millions of dollars. You've done, and I say this all the time. The reason why he's where he's at right now, because the motherfucker's ungrateful. Now you go to AEW. Shit is not working right the same way that it's not working out right for you the way that you wanted to.
Yeah.
But you're coming into other people's home. This is an already established.
It's like when you go to an Airbnb and you trash the shit. You're getting mad at everybody because they're not listening to you. Okay, they don't have to listen to you. This isn't your company. But then but that's why I said they low-key enabled the behavior, which is why everybody got to take accountability in how everything played out, because you allowed him to think like shit was okay when it really wasn't okay. And you guys was like, well, we just gonna make it's like when you get a new team member and you want them to feel comfortable, so you do everything to kind of baby them and coddle them, and that's really what they did that summer at CM Punk. Them niggas coddled him and baby him, and then gave the title to him, and then had to have a whole interim because he hurt himself.
Can I be honest with you?
It was like the interim thing was to stroke his ego, and that didn't make it. In the long run, it didn't help AEW. It didn't make any sense because then now you gave Moxley the whole job to do it, and then Moxley had the job to the nigga to get the title back. Why did y'all do that?
But the thing is, at the end of the day, he's still a draw.
Yeah.
But okay, he is a draw and everything like that. Okay, he's a draw. You just have to do. But I feel like when he was there, a lot of his matches felt out of place, and he's not durable. He's not.
No, the CM Punk we knew 10 years ago, it's not Phil now.
My thing is this, CM Punk, what's your excuse? You've been out of wrestling for so long. Not only that you stay injured, you have a bad attitude, and guess what? You want everything to revolve around you. People may talk trash about Jericho, but at the end of the day, he's like, ever since back in the day, WCW days, he was a team player. Yeah. Every time you gave Jericho a little bit, he ran with it because he saw the bigger picture.
A lot of them niggas in WCW look at team players because they didn't like everything that was done. But
look at Daniel Bryan. He understands where he comes from, and he's similar upbringing like Punk. But the one thing that people always say about Daniel Bryan, he's a cool person backstage.
Let me tell you, when I met Daniel Bryan, I was one of the nicest men I think on this planet.
Nicest.
Secondly, him last night on Dynamite and how he chuckled on that fucking microphone on commentary was the best thing of that whole fucking night. I fucking tickled so hard for Daniel Bryan laughing because I like Daniel Bryan as a heel.
Thank you.
I like the whole I like the black Cesaro fucking uppercut and all them niggas so hard. I was like, why is this going on? I like what they're doing with them, and that's why I said it's always interesting. I feel like they pick and choose what storylines to really invest when you really should invest in the whole show.
Oh.
So it's like you pick and choose your investments. But
the whole Jay White thing, what you said a couple of weeks ago, I gotta keep on agreeing with you because I'm basically going to pick out what you're saying. It's like saying this way, right? You get LeBron James, right? Get LeBron James, you hype him up. Hey, LeBron, you're not starting. Come off the bench.
So do you want to hear a little rumor?
What?
A little backstage tidbit?
What?
I heard?
What?
Jay White wasn't supposed to be in AEW.
No, because they got the firing freeze over there.
No, that wasn't it.
What?
So when
I wouldn't have, but I'm sorry. I feel like out of the two of them, I would be more keen to with Juice Robinson than Jay White.
Don't get me wrong. But the way that
and it's not because of like wrestling,
but
like,
the way that Khan announcement made it such a big deal. You playing like you have a big free agent and make him come off the bench.
No, but the thing about it, so what happened was it was during the sale of the company.
Okay.
They didn't push his paperwork through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
because it was put on the back burner because they were more worried about the selling of the company.
Mm-hmm.
So when the selling of the company was happening, he got worried and just went to AEW.
Oh, he jumped up. Well, I mean that.
But the thing about it, he was just like, I'm just gonna take this bread because they gave him a good amount of money, probably double what he was making at New Japan.
New Japan, yeah.
So that's the reason why he is at AEW.
Yeah, but
he never wanted to be there.
Yeah, but just the whole thing with him and Ricky, and then now they're having to be honest, and I said this to him last night. I said, I don't understand how they've been building the whole him Jay White and Ricky Starks thing. Why the fuck would you do it on Dynamite and not Double or Nothing? I said, what are we doing?
But you have to understand,
what?
It's all about they competing against the playoffs. We want people to tune in to watch.
Bro, no one is interested in Jay White.
Okay.
That is not going to draw me to watch.
I agree with you. But my thing is this way. There's nothing wrong with Ricky Starks. Do I think that Ricky Starks going to leave eventually?
Putting him in this fucking position of always being in some random ass shit that doesn't mean anything.
Well, hold on.
So
annoying. There's nothing wrong with this.
Ricky deserves so much better than that.
This is not on Ricky Starks. There's no. I love Ricky Starks. I feel like he's a star.
High key mid.
Like I feel like he's a star, and I feel like he's gonna stay AEW and grow, or leave AEW, go WWE, become a mega star.
My man gotta go.
My thing is this:
American Nightmare.
You get Jay White, you pay him all this money for him not to be in a big storyline. Some people said that, hey guys, you gotta give him some chance.
A dollar value Bullet Club remix thing that's old and no one gives a fuck about.
But let me finish. Some people say, hey guys, you gotta give him a chance to develop this like that. That's BS because Dan Bryan was a big announcement and he got put in the main feud. Adam Cole, same thing. John Moxley, same thing. I'll even go even further back. Brian Cage. They made it feel like a big deal.
Yo, they put the rocket on that nigga just to
boom. I even go I go other low-key signing. Jay Lethal.
Oh, they took the Miro low-key. It took a little bit, but when they got him away from the Kip Sabian shit.
Right. Mero was still on television. Even with Jay Lethal, he was one of your big free agent. You made it feel like the big deal. He was competing against titles, all of that.
Really? What's up? What's everyone's beef with Fit Finley's child? Because I don't watch, respectfully, I don't watch in Japan.
Because he does not move the needle.
What's everybody's issue with Fit Finley's child?
Listen, I love the Bullet Club and all of that. The last time I feel like the Bullet Club had a great leader, real talk, was Kenny Omega. After Kenny left, the whole thing didn't feel like a big deal. It felt exclusively to Japan. It didn't feel worldwide no more.
Well, it's because it got old. They didn't reinvent it. It became really stale. It became this thing over and over again, doing the same thing over and over again. And it didn't feel fresh.
And how to get new leaders is the same way they did last week. There's nothing. You're right.
It hasn't evolved. It hasn't been fresh. But the one thing I will say is that we're blessed with the fact that the networks see wrestling as a bigger deal,
as a value,
and then that they're gonna have it on literally like wrestling's gonna be on like 6 days a week,
sometimes 7
days,
sometimes like twice a day.
Yeah, twice a day. Like for instance, when Double or Nothing is happening, you have 2 pay-per-views on Saturday, and then you have a pay-per-view on Sunday. There's a huge value when they see in wrestling. It's the only thing that's consistently live during the week.
Yo, shout out to Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh, that's coming back.
The one thing about Dark Side of the Ring that I have to say, shout out to Vice for this, because it added another layer to wrestling. Shout out to Vlad, other people who's outside of wrestling who's interviewed these wrestlers.
Because wrestling is a culture thing,
and it's like it brings revenue.
And I don't want to talk about it all the time. But then people want to talk to me about it. So I'm in a meeting at work. I'm on a Zoom call meeting with one of the biggest bosses in my company. I don't know this motherfucker. I did not know this nigga followed me. So he goes, "Yo, Wilkins, I didn't know you were a wrestling fan."
In the middle of the Zoom call.
In the middle of the Zoom call, he's like, yo, your podcast. Oh my God. I was like, thanks, man.
Yo, why you like this?
That's why everybody, when people find out like I have a podcast, or like one of the guys in the what we call the BC at Cats, the other, like maybe a week or two ago, he was like, yo, y'all was potting the other day, and I sat there, I was like, the fuck, what are you talking about?
But it's I'll take the thing.
Thank you.
But the thing about I'll take the comment, but we're in a work call, and he's like, yeah, man, so we gotta talk about some wrestling real quick.
We'll talk about
what's wrong with that.
What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about this meeting and how we have to bring in new people to the team. I have business to take care of.
Bro. I'm sorry. In my life, the reason why I got ahead a lot of times because I say something relatable. They say, "Oh, Mr. Black, man, I noticed that you talking about Insta the other day. Are you into that?" Yeah, man. Next thing you know, then I'm riding in their car. Next thing you know, that I get opportunity.
But the thing about it, no. I am tired. I've been there at since 5 a.m. and it's 12 p.m.
Listen, that's why
you take your CMOS that day?
I did, but I've been up since 5 a.m. working.
Nobody want to talk about. That's how I feel about when y'all.
But the thing
that's how I feel about when people message me before 12 o'clock.
But the thing about it,
or call me early in the morning and be like, can I talk to you about something real quick?
Yes.
I wonder who does that all the time.
Yes. Early bird get the worm.
That is true. Early bird does get the worm.
Fuck that.
I'll be up like 5 o'clock like this.
Oh, nigga, we know you be up.
Oh, son, I know you watch the Cameron and Cameron May show. You watch that? You watch that?
No, I haven't started watching it yet.
Fire, B. Yo, shout out to Coffee Weedston. Just because shout out to Stephanie Hardy. Shout out to those wrestling girls, B. Shout out to Colin's beautiful soon to be wife.
But listen. I just want to talk about it all the time. He was a super nice guy. We're gonna talk about when I see him. But on this work call,
let's keep it work.
I just need to get a super nice guy.
Let's keep it work.
Super nice guy. We'll talk about it. Maybe even grab a beer. And he'll drink the beer. And I'll drink some
I was about to say,
juice.
you're not about to drink no damn beer.
And then we can talk about it. But at that point, no.
All right, what else
nice
before
guy,
we
though.
close out on Raw? And they did on the Raw side, they did the 2 triple threats, and then the semifinal where now Seth Rollins will be representing Raw at Night of Champions to crown the new World Heavyweight Champion. So SmackDown this week, they'll be doing the same thing on their bracket. I think it's interesting that the fucking first round match was fucking Edge, Bobby, and Rey Mysterio. And I was like, what? It's like, how did we get this blessed? So that's going to be this week on SmackDown. NXT this week.
Wait, is Bobby versus Rey Mysterio?
Versus Edge, bro, in the first round on the SmackDown side.
Yo, that's classic SmackDown right there.
Exactly. That's your era.
But you have to understand that's
on
smart.
This day,
but that's smart though. Like I think that's smart marketing.
They did old school and they did new school at the bottom.
I think that's smart marketing because at the end of the day, it bridged the old fan to new fan. Think about it. If I tell somebody who watch wrestling, yo, what are you watching? Rey Mysterio, Edge, and Bobby Lashley, they still wrestle?
That's a casual fan pickup.
Yo,
low key.
Reason why that I love wrestling is the only sport where the old could still come back and still be a draw.
Oh, my bad. It's Edge, AJ, and Ray. Where's Bob? Bobby's in the match with fucking
actually
Austin Theory, and who else is in that?
Actually, Edge versus Styles versus Rey Mysterio. That is a throwback, right? Because Styles got popped in the Roots with Aggression era.
My bad, guys. That's what I thought it was. I was informed that it's Edge versus AJ versus Rey Mysterio. Yeah, Cody and Brock. Yeah, no. The Tribal Chief returns this week on SmackDown, so we'll see the fallout between the Usos and their brotherhood with Solo and see how that happens.
Someone said still a banging nevertheless.
NXT, NXT this week began their tournament.
Shout out to Tricky Williams.
Listen.
Yo,
Trick
Williams.
I feel like ever since that Mania weekend when I asked him that question about Trick, like they've been positioning Trick to be on his own. And I think it's so dope.
Y'all remember Percy Watson?
Yes.
I feel like Trick reminded me of Percy Watson. If Percy Watson took wrestling seriously,
like better. Oh, okay. I was going to say, I didn't think
no,
he
because
was good.
He reminded me of Percy Watson because of the personality and stuff like that. I'm not saying that ring work, but I just feel like if Percy kept on at it, he would have been a star. Because Percy was great in the ring and everything like that. I love Percy Watson.
Yeah, I was gonna say no, I wasn't a fan. But no, the main event this week on NXT was Trick Williams versus Braun Breaker. To keep building up to
you think that
Battleground.
Trick Williams is a better Velveteen Dream?
He's not even Velveteen Dream like, so I wouldn't even. That's not in the same category. We saw NXT is still a thing.
Yo,
very much so. You should watch.
They fell off after their case. No, they didn't.
Definitely never fell off.
They didn't fall off.
Never fell off.
They never fell off. They be trending. They be trending on Tuesdays.
Yeah. So what guys mentioned the women's tournament to crown a new NXT Women's Champion since the NXT Women's Champion Indy Hartwell got drafted.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
I'm mad you said NXT still a thing. Like, you don't watch Raw that talk about NXT. Like,
you didn't watch the draft where they drafted NXT people? I'm so confused. But it's okay. So Tiffany Stratton and what's that? What was it? Valkyrie girl. They advanced. So they're gonna be continuing the bracket next week. I'm loving Braun in his inner uncle self.
Gray Wallison's going to SmackDown.
Absolutely, yeah. Grayson Waller will be on SmackDown. This week on SmackDown, Cameron Grimes debut against Baron Corbin. Super excited about that. Nikki Alliance is still injured, but on NXT they did it was a little thing where there was somebody sitting, and so on NXT she got injured because she got hit. Hold on. She got injured because Nikki got injured because somebody came up from behind her. The same thing happened to Wendy Chu. So the person was playing those things simultaneously, but it was somebody sitting in a chair. So whoever did the attacks is going to be revealed soon. So that'll be interesting to see happening. Dijak versus that Ilya Dragunov was really good.
Wait. Dragunov was on Tuesday?
Yeah. That shit was hard. So listen, that's what I'm saying. NXT is definitely.
I got sacrifice one wrestling federation. B.
Yeah,
I got sacrifice one of them. I think that would sacrifice Rampage for NXT and MLW.
That's an easy. Well, MLW you can always like catch up on. But yeah, Rampage you can about out. But all right, like they mentioned,
someone said that Vaughn said Braun dressed better as a heel.
Yo, he had tougher than evil or something. He had a saying on the back of his singlet this week, and I thought that was hard.
He is better as a heel though.
Yeah,
Braun Breaker, because it's
He's his uncle's. He's really his uncle's child. But yeah, anything else in the wrestling before we wrap up? No, yes, baby. All right, maybe not.
Shout out to Battle Club.
Yes, do the fight thing too. June 17th. We will be sending out an updated list and card and information on that. So stay tuned for that.
For everybody who's watching right now, please check out Battle Club X right now on YouTube.
Is the parking lot NXT still dangerous? Yes. So funny story. The last NXT, and then we'll wrap up the last NXT 2.0. I actually went because it was during my birthday week, and we were waiting for like the Uber right by outside the parking lot where everybody gets jumped at. So it's the funniest thing. Yes, and Trinity debuted on Impact, so make sure to tune on Impact Plus or Impact on Access. Yeah. And then they listed like a whole bunch of dates, live shows they're doing in Toronto. Impact's actually going to Australia. They're doing an Australia tour soon. So stay tuned for that if you are in the Aussie area for that. Nolan, I don't know if it's your birthday or you're saying happy birthday, but happy birthday. Happy birthday to all the Tauruses. Last but not least, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, single mothers, two-parent households, all the moms. Happy Mother's Day. Enjoy your day this weekend. I actually have access, Nolan. If you have Sling TV, you have access. But last but not least, once again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that work endlessly for their kids and for the their families and stuff like that. So make sure to take care of your mama this weekend. But as always, I'm Janelle from HR here with Sir Wilkins and Mr. Black. And once again, thank you to StatGuyGreg for joining us in the beginning of this show. We appreciate you. We love you. # Black Excellence. # we are out.
I was over, got the hands in motion. If you go with rolling, no need to focus. Traveling states and over oceans, you gotta wait till your coast chosen. Trying to have lines outside the show like Harry Potter releases at Barnes & Noble.